Whoa! Finally, thunderstorm in Ho Chi Minh City after a long period of heat wave here in Saigon. A relief having rain coming back to our lives again. And hello everybody, I'm here today to talk about the multiple reasons why you should or should not, probably should not buy the VinFast VF6. Okay, let's get into it and let's get on the way.
Hey Tom, it's the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. First I want to say congratulations on your YouTube channel. Everybody needs to follow your YouTube channel. So what everyone needs to do is subscribe to Tom Peng. Great guy, great person. Tom, keep up the great work.
You know, it's been a long time since Saigon has rained, and over the last week or so there's been a very hot heat wave in Saigon and probably the rest of the Vietnam, and that was not very comfortable for a lot of people. And for me, I tried to stay at home in air conditioning, you know. But anyways, today, welcome the rain back to Saigon, and we're gonna talk about the multiple reasons why you should not buy the VinFast VF6 Plus, okay? Because I am driving a Plus model of the VF6. There's also a normal VF6 called the VF6 Echo, and that borrows the motors from the VF5. It has less power. This one has more power. It does propel the car from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 8 seconds, which is average, all right? It's probably a little bit faster than most of the cars here on the street here in Vietnam, but I would say 8 seconds is nothing to be gloating about. Since I got this car, I have no problem with it whatsoever. There's been no mechanical faults, so I've been very happy to report that. However, there is some issues we'll talk about today. So before I get started talking about the list of reasons why you should not get the VinFast VF6 Plus, I want to talk about one particular reason I believe is subjective, right? Because everybody would feel differently about this, and it is a reason why not to buy the VinFast VF6 Plus, okay? Because this is a company car. After I purchased this car, I gave it to the company. There's a company driver that drives this car and take our sales team, our customer service team to go see customers. One of the feedback that I get from my staff, and there's a lot of them, that say in the VinFast VF6 Plus, they get car sick more so than any other VinFast cars. That is the VF8, the VF5, they get more car sick in this car. People throw up in this car more than the other VinFast. They already say that the VinFast cars tend to give them more car sickness, but this one give them more. So I don't know whether to include that in the list or not, because I think that's very subjective, so I will not include that in the list, but I want to share that with you. I think the suspension setup for all different models of VinFast cars are terrible. The suspension tend to be very stiff, very hard, very jumpy. The car is very jumpy, so there's a lot of motion going up and down, left and right, and cause people to get more car sick in the VinFast. And what people say about the VF6 is that there's also a smell in the car, the more plasticky smell, because there is a lot of plastic in the VinFast VF6, okay? So I just want to put it out there. The suspension plus the car smell make people want to throw up more in the VinFast VF6. This is what people tell me. I do not include this in the list because I think that's subjective. But see, the driver actually prepared like vomit bags in the car because people throw up in the car, you know, in the VF6 more so than any other VinFast. So that is not a good thing. Now let's get to the list. So the very first thing I did when I got this car from the VinFast store is to take this car on a long trip from Saigon to Fintech. We were having a company trip, and I took the car with my assistant, with my staff. So the four of us took this car and we drove from Saigon to Fintech. And that was an interesting experience because we actually ran out of the battery, okay? I did not expect the range to be so short on the VF6, and after subsequent testing, I'm going to talk about that a lot today as well. Let's start with the numbers of reasons why you should not buy the VinFast VF6, okay? The first thing I will deter you from buying the VinFast VF6 is that it is a powerful front-wheel drive vehicle, especially the Plus model, because it has enough power and it's front-wheel drive for you to experience what is torque steering. So torque steering is when you have a front-wheel drive car and it has enough power, and when you floor the pedal, the car tends to pull to the right, like what I'm doing right now. Whoa! And I have to manually compensate by pulling the wheel to the left a little bit just to keep the car balanced, all right? And this is not a fault of VinFast. Any front-wheel drive car with enough power will have this problem. So that's why in North America, when you buy a hot hatch, you know, a small car that's front-wheel drive, you tend to get that problem. But the thing is, in recent years, manufacturers have been doing things to mediate that torque steering, right? Whether it's Mercedes implementing all-wheel drive in their hot hatches like the A-Class, or whether it's Ford, you know, they use some computer mimicry to control the power output to the wheel so that you don't feel the torque steering as much. But in the VinFast VF6, let me tell you, there is no mediation whatsoever. You feel the torque steer in its 100% glory, okay? So when I floor it, you know, it's like I have to fight the wheel. Yeah, I gotta fight the wheel, all right, to keep the car, you know, composed and balanced and going down the road in a straight line. It actually makes this car exciting, not in a good way, okay? When I say exciting, I don't mean that in a good way. It's actually maybe for some people a little bit scary, but I'm an experienced driver, so this actually doesn't freak me out. But I would say that if you are a new driver, somebody who is getting into a VinFast VF6, which this car is probably geared towards you know, an entry-level driver, and when you floor the pedal, you're probably gonna be in a surprise in your life. You're gonna probably feel a little bit overwhelmed because you never have to fight the wheel like that. So the number one thing I really did not like about the VinFast VF6 is that it did not take any measure to mediate, to control the torque steering. I wish they did more. I think you won't feel it in the Eco model. I think you will feel it in the VF6 Plus. For most people driving normally, not like a maniac like me, this will not be a problem. But if you are the kind of foot heavy driver like me, then yeah, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel the torque steer. Okay, the number two reason why you should not buy the VinFast VF6, let me tell you, okay? It is the fucking range. Because remember, I took the VinFast VF6 Plus on a company trip journey from Saigon to Fintech, and I actually ran out of battery, and we had to call a tow truck to tow us to the nearest charging station. That was all documented in a reality style YouTube video for you to see. I was a little bit surprised because I thought I could get at least 200 kilometers on a full charge in the VF6 Plus, but I was very wrong because we were only able to get about 170 on that particular trip. On subsequent testing, I was able to get 200 over on some trips, but I'm here to officially tell you that no, usually you cannot do that, all right? So the realistic range on the VF6 Plus, again, I don't know about Eco. I think at the Eco you'll get more, but on the VF6 Plus, and you know me, Tom Peng, I only buy the Plus because I need more power, right? But on the VF6 Plus, the realistic range is anywhere from 150 kilometers to 170 kilometers on a full charge, which is very disappointing, which puts it in the same league as the VinFast VF34, which is a domestic model electric car here in Vietnam. So if you're looking for a car with a longer range in Vietnam, this is not it, all right? I would recommend the VinFast VF5, because with the VF5, you at least get 200 or more. Usually I can get 220 to 230 kilometers on a full charge in the VF5 because it's a much lighter car, it's a small battery, it charges faster too. But in the VF6, you get 150 to 170, which is very disappointing. This is why I am not driving this car. This car, after the company trip, immediately goes to our company driver and they get to inherit this vehicle. There are some good things about it. I will talk about it in another video, but this is not a car that I would drive because I need the range. I don't want to feel anxious every time I run out of battery, or the battery is low and I have to look for charging stations. So this is not the car for me, all right? Now, the number 3 reason why you should not buy the VinFast VF6 Eco or Plus is there is a very, very loud and annoying noise coming from the car whenever you turn it on. So when you turn it on, or when you drive to your destination, you park the car, you get out of the car, you can hear the whining noise, all right? I have documented this in my previous video. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? This is extremely annoying, and I think we need to take this car back to the VinFast service center and have this looked at, because this could be a problem only singularly applied to this vehicle. I don't know, or maybe it applies to all the VF6s. I don't know that for sure, but I know in this vehicle, every time we turn it on, there's a very fucking annoying whining noise coming from the front of the car, and I don't know what it is. I assume it's some kind of a fan that's trying to cool the battery or something, but it's annoying, and we don't like it. I don't like it, and that's one of the reasons why you should not buy the VinFast VF6. The number 4 reason why you should not buy the VinFast VF6 Plus is let me think. What's another reason not to buy the VinFast VF6 Plus? Oh, I know. You know what? The software is kind of shit, all right? I have got this car about 4 months now. I was one of the first people here in Saigon to receive the VF6. I was very, very proud about that. I was very pleased about that. After 4 months, I can tell you that even though there may have been software updates, I don't know. I did take the car back to the service center. They may have updated it, or maybe not, I don't know. But I can tell you that the software is very lacking. It does not have Android Auto. It does not have Apple CarPlay. It has no essential driving assistance features. So all the assistance features that you get in the VF8 does not apply here, okay? I don't know how long we have to wait for those things to happen. It's been 4 months, still nothing. I know that my VF9 is still waiting for features like the assisted driving. So I think VinFast is taking its slow, sweet time to get the software updated to what they promised the car would have, like assistant driving features. But I know that a lot of models of VinFast do not have those features yet. So they need to work a little bit faster. And I do understand, because I'm in the software business, it's not easy to write software, and it takes time to write software. It takes time to test software, especially for software that controls a car, which is a safety concern, right? So they have to really test it thoroughly. And for that reason, I understand why it takes time. But come on, for VF9, it's been a year, all right? So I think if you buy a VinFast, you know, you read the brochures, you watch the videos, you know, they are going to under-deliver, all right? They're gonna promise you a lot, but they are gonna under-deliver. The software features may come later maybe much later, maybe 1 year later, maybe 2 years later, I don't know. But it's gonna come later. So don't believe the brochures too much, don't believe the videos too much. You know, like I can tell you that right now today, the car does not come with all the features that they promised. Now, the number 5 reason why you should not buy the VinFast VF6 Plus, I need to think about it a little bit, is performance, all right? And you know, I like high performance cars, you know, like all of my gas cars, they're over 500 horsepower. I don't buy anything less, okay? I love performance, I love speed, I love power. And one of the reasons why I love electric cars is that electric cars can deliver that power in a more efficient way. And it gives you low torque, meaning that anytime you get that full power at any time, unlike a gas car, which you have to get to a high RPM in order to utilize the power, the best power band, right? But in the electric car, you get the power anytime. That's why I love electric cars. The 5th and the final reason why you should not buy this car is performance. I think for this car, performance is both a positive and also a negative, right? So if you're like me, you're seeking power and speed and performance, let me tell you, VF6 will not be it. It will be better than most of the gas cars here in Saigon, but it will not be satisfying. Let's just say, if you're experienced with V8, W12, and you know, high performance electric cars, then this will not cut it. This is very average. Still better than most cars out there, but you're not gonna be thrilled, okay? So this gives you better performance than the VF5. It gives you slight better performance than the VF E34, okay? It gives you less performance than the VF8. But for me, this is a negative. And this is one of the reasons why this car is going to the company driver, because I need power, baby. All right, so these are the 5 reasons why you should not buy the VinFast VF6 Plus. All right, so 1, the torque steer. Holy fuck, I don't like it at all. All right, it adds excitement to your life, but not in a good way. And 2, the range. The range is shit. All right, and 3, the whining fucking noise coming from the front of the car every time you turn it on, all right? And very annoying. Number 4 is the software is not what they promised, all right? It's lacking many things, including Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all this driving assistance features, all right? It's all missing, and I don't know when we're gonna get it. And finally, the number 5 reason not to get the VinFast VF6 Plus is performance, because compared to high performance cars, this is kind of average, all right? It's kind of average. Right, so there you have it. 5 reasons why you should not buy the VinFast VF6 Plus. Take some fucking action, get to know the VF6, and don't be a fucktard!